What if we took somebody like Wheeler Yuta under our wings? What if we took somebody like Daniel Garcia away from 2.0?
Young wrestlers and massive potential. Name a better combo in pro wrestling. And out of the many examples in AEW, two wrestlers stand out from the rest, Daniel Garcia and Wheeler Yuta. Aside from showing a lot of promise, I believe that these are the two wrestlers who have best capitalized on their potential and embraced the opportunities, leading to two very different paths, but at the same time mirror each other so perfectly. When they started, Garcia and Yuta were seen as very similar to each other. They were both recognized as some of the best technician wrestlers for their age, and both their paths in AEW basically kick-started around the same time. However, as I mentioned, they chose to follow very different paths. Two paths that highlight the importance of mentorship and growth in AEW.
The boys get the win. That's how we do. You get it?
We did it, man.
Get it? Hey,
We did it.
he gets it now. He's starting to get it.
We did it.
He's starting to get it.
Can I have it later? It's my notes.
Yeah. Sally in
We
there?
won, though. That's cool, right?
Choke this bitch out.
Guys, we won! Mommy,
Wheeler Yuta came to AEW under the mentorship of Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends, flourishing in AEW Dark and often joining his mentors in tag team action. Shortly after, the indie darling Daniel Garcia also made his formal debut in the company, joined by his quote-unquote fathers in 2.0.
Ah, now would you look at this? Free agency, huh? A hell of a thing! How about it? Free agency tastes real good, huh? 2.0 in the AEW. But you know what you gotta do? You know what you gotta do when you're the new kids in the neighborhood? You gotta find somebody to watch your back. So Daniel Garcia, how about it?
How about it? The second thing that you have to do is call out the three baddest dudes on the roster.
Oh, this is a good
That's
plan.
right.
I like
The
this
three
plan.
baddest dudes.
Yeah,
Eddie Kingston! You want a taste?
Oh, okay, so we're gonna go with Eddie Kingston. How about John Moxley? Hey, you want a taste?
And how about Darby Allin? If you want a taste.
You want a taste, Darby? Huh? Tomorrow night, boys. Dynamite. You're gonna find out that the three of us right here, we rule! Rule!
Despite having good showings every now and then, it wasn't until the fateful encounter between Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson when their careers began to skyrocket. After Moxley and Danielson faced off, they eventually did join forces along with William Regal to create the Blackpool Combat Club, or BCC for short.
So when I knew that you two were going to knock the stuffing out of each other on Sunday, I thought it was time to come along. And because you're men and you did it the right way in the ring, I thought I'd seen enough, and so I came out and I thought, what better could this younger generation of wrestlers have than the perfect combination? The perfect wrestler and the perfect and utter sadistic person that will take things to a completely other level. And so that's why this team is together. And just a warning to every single person that steps in the ring with them. You will not like the outcome. And you either will step up or you'll get stepped on.
A faction birthed from the ideals of no bullshit, all serious, and violence-loving pro wrestlers. This group admired the art of pro wrestling, treating it as a real sport and worshipping the violence that came with it. Of the many names Danielson listed off, Wheeler Yuta was the one recruit to be extended the opportunity of a lifetime. He was perfect for the BCC, given his mat-based wrestling style. The only problem, he had to earn his spot by surviving Jon Moxley, who has previously destroyed Yuta during their past encounters in the ring. However, with such a big opportunity on the line, Wheeler fought till the very end, surviving longer and fighting harder than anyone could expect. And while Moxley eventually put him down, The blood on his face and the spirit he showed was enough to earn the hand of respect from William Regal. Now, how about Daniel Garcia? Well, after an excellent proving ground match against Danielson and how adamant Danielson was to take him under his wing, he seemed like a perfect fit for the BCC. However, Daniel Garcia caught the eye of a completely different mentor.
Are Chris Jericho and Jake Hager in league with Garcia, Parker, and Lee? It certainly appears to be. How do you really know anymore?
This is the Jericho Appreciation Society.
After the implosion of the Inner Circle, Chris Jericho wasted no time creating a new group, the Jericho Appreciation Society, or JAS for short, a faction consisting not of pro wrestlers but sports entertainers. A complete antithesis to the BCC, who embraced the more absurd and convoluted side of pro wrestling, making a mockery of the sport and more often than not cheated to win rather than relying on their skills to win a match.
I just heard you say something, and I just gotta get this off my chest real quick. If you're gonna stand here and call yourself a sports entertainer, well then I am too. My name is Daniel Garcia, and I am a sports entertainer.
Needless to say, this move by Garcia was completely unexpected. But you can see the vision now. Pro wrestlers versus sports entertainers. Jericho Appreciation Society versus Blackpool Combat Club. A clash of ideals that will dominate the summer of 2022. And in the crossfire, birth a feud between their rookie members.
You can call it whatever you want. You can call it anarchy in the arena. Call it pro wrestling versus sports entertainment. The beautiful violent art, the sport we represent, the sport we love versus a bunch of stupid bullshit.
The war between JAS and BCC was insane, chaotic violence, during anarchy in the arena and escalating to blood and guts. But for the interest of focusing this video on Garcia and Yuta, I'd want to emphasize how these two members played their roles in the war. During Blood and Guts, both men finally met in the ring in AEW and gave a tease of their feud to come. But despite the best efforts of the JAS, the Blackpool Combat Club emerged victorious.
Who walks away the Ring of Honor Pure Champion?
Caprice, it's gotta be me.
Why is that?
See, this match, this is a professional wrestler versus a sports entertainer. See, I've known this guy for a long time. Danny, I've known you for a long time, and I always thought we were cut from the same cloth. I thought you were a pro wrestler like me. I thought you loved this.
Now after the bloody cage match, JAS versus BCC continued on a more individual level. Now with Garcia and Yuta mirroring each other as the youngest members, or the rookies of the group, their eventual face-off would come during Death Before Dishonor, with the Ring of Honor Pure title on the line. As the name suggests, a pure title match meant a stricter set of rules to best showcase a wrestler's skill. And during this match, that's exactly what Garcia and Yuta did, showcasing the potential many saw in them as they traded strikes and countered each other's holds, almost to a stalemate, showing that despite their opposing factions, they are two sides of the same coin. With the deciding factor in this match being Yuta taking advantage of Garcia mocking the BCC, countering a setup to score the win. With William Regal on commentary, this is how you would notice Wheeler's advantage. The insights of his mentors and training from the BCC paid off in dividends in this match. And to show off how far he's grown, Wheeler didn't even use a single rope break to pull off the win.
Wednesday, I'll be wrestling Daniel Garcia. And I'm gonna kick his head in.
When it comes to the BCC, there are more ways than one to help a wrestler improve. We already saw how training under them has benefited Wheeler Yuta, and now Bryan Danielson will prove the words of William Regal, iron sharpens iron against Daniel Garcia. Despite being in the JAS, Danielson still hasn't given up on Garcia, knowing that under the guise of a sports entertainer, still lived the pro wrestler he initially saw, and if Danielson had to beat that pro wrestler out of Garcia, he would do so during their rematch at Fight for the Fallen. Their second match was a layer more vicious than the last, as Danielson pushed Garcia to his limits. Even under the tutelage of Jericho, it was clear that Garcia was specially gifted in the ring, and with a little sports entertainment magic, Garcia was able to slay the American Dragon.
Do you know this kid? Daniel Garcia is one of the people I mentioned first when I talked about starting the Blackpool Combat Club. And do you know why? Do you know why? Because I saw him at 21 years old go 60 minutes in front of 250 people showing the best wrestling technique I had seen in a young talent in years. So let me ask you this question. This is something I want you to think about this Wednesday when I'm stomping your damn face in, okay? Do you want to be the best technical sports entertainer on the planet? Or, look at me when I talk to you. Look at me. If I was your hero, do you want to be the best technical wrestler in the world? And I'll leave that up to you.
To settle the score between Garcia and Danielson, both men would meet once more in a 2 out of 3 falls match on Dynamite. Garcia continued to impress, being able to tie the match with 1 fall each. But in the end, it was Danielson's brutality that secured the win, bashing in Garcia's head and finishing him off with a label lock. And while Danielson wasn't able to give Garcia his mentorship, he could still give him his respect.
Jericho, by the way, just left the announce position here, guys. And he's heading. Oh, there he is. Jericho from behind, assaulting Bryan Danielson. After that match, Whoa! With dissension in the Jericho Appreciation Society. It's all about the respect of Garcia and Danielson.
But the cost of Danielson's respect resulted in the tension between Garcia and his mentor in Chris Jericho, and for a brief moment it would seem that it was time for Garcia to accept who he really was, a pro wrestler.
I respect us wrestling last week, and in my opinion, I agree with all these people that you're a wrestler. You're really gonna do this to me, huh? You're a sports entertainer.
Kid's put in a tough spot here.
And I wanna hear you say it right now. Look at me.
Come on, Chris.
Say it. Tell me you're a sports entertainer. Stop it. I got my mentor here, I got my hero here, and you're trying to make me make the decision in front of all these people in public. I'm not doing it!
Iron sharpens iron. Despite Garcia never joining the BCC, Danielson was able to do more for Garcia by treating him as an equal and an opponent than as a student under his wing. And on September 7, 2022, the seeds of Danielson's work come to fruition. During a rematch against Wheeler Yuta for the Pure title, Garcia came back tougher and more confident against his rival. And with his new mastery of the Dragon Tamer submission, Garcia was able to turn the tables and win the Pure title, showing the audience what Danielson had seen since the beginning. Garcia is a professional wrestler, and the sooner he accepted that, the more successful he could be.
You trying to poach my guy, Daniel Garcia, belongs to me. Daniel Garcia does what I tell him to do.
But no matter how hard Danielson tried to pull Garcia away from sports entertainment, it was Danielson who ended up learning a hard lesson during his match against Jericho for the ROH World Championship.
Daniel Garcia! And Jericho has no idea! Good for you, Daniel Garcia! Good for you! Finally someone sticking up for the values of that code of honor! Wait a minute, watch out! Oh, psycho knee from Danielson! With Garcia! What have you done? Wow! The loyalty right there lies with Garcia!
Despite the reluctance and disgust on his face, Garcia made it clear he was a sports entertainer and was just pulling a ruse to take out Bryan Danielson, and a brilliant one at that, as Garcia got everything he wanted: the respect of his hero, the demise of his hero, and the pure title to boot. However, he wasn't safe yet, as Wheeler Yuta was looking for revenge.
Garcia's been trying to drive a wedge between me and my mentors for a very long time. He's been trying to do everything he can to get in the way of the Blackpool Combat Club. We're over it. This is over. Final battle, that is it.
While Danielson was focused on helping Garcia the past few months, Wheeler Yuta still had enough mentors in Regal, Claudio, and Moxley to prepare himself for his third encounter against his rival in Garcia. During Final Battle 2022, Garcia and Yuta had one very important point to prove. In this multi-month-long feud, which man improved to be the better wrestler / sports entertainer? And surely enough, regardless of who emerged victorious, it's safe to say Garcia and Yuta have proven their point and had grown immensely under their own respective factions. Garcia was smarter in this match, using the rules to his advantage, turning the tables on Yuta to expend all his rope breaks early in the match, a strategic move that puts Yuta at a major disadvantage. However, knowing that the BCC is built on brutality and violence, Yuta was able to power through and showcased his tenacity, surviving the toughest holds, and in a poetic mirror to Danielson's win, Yuta bashed Garcia's head in, winning the match and the pure title in the process. In the end, despite the wars they fought and the sides they chose, Garcia and Yuta were still two sides of the same coin. And not only did they earn each other's respect, but the respect of the audience as well, as both men have succeeded in proving they are the future of AEW. True to the name Final Battle, Garcia and Yuta wouldn't cross paths with each other for the next few years. Wheeler Yuta continued to be a valued member of the Blackpool Combat Club, continuing his growth by fighting alongside them in tags, trios, and even waging war against the Elite, the Best Friends, and Eddie Kingston. The culmination of their growing chemistry would result to Claudio, Wheeler, and their new member Pac to win the trios titles at All In.
When I've been here, I've been doing this, and I've been proving that I'm one of the best pro wrestlers.
Oh, Garcia catching himself. Gotta remember, he's a sports entertainer.
Sports entertainers on the planet today.
Daniel Garcia, on the other hand, walked a more interesting path. Even after making it clear he was a sports entertainer, there was still conflict within him. The more he denied his identity as a pro wrestler, the more it cost him important wins. And just as how it was Jericho who convinced Garcia to be a sports entertainer, it would also be Jericho who finally pushes him away.
And Chris, I just want to let you know, I sacrificed so much for you. I changed who I am, the fabric of my human being for you. I've turned my back on my friends. I've turned my back on my heroes for you. I chose you every single time, so I don't get why you never choose us. And Chris, because you're not choosing me, I can't do this anymore, alright?
Daniel Garcia would enter the Continental Classic, a round-robin style tournament with a stricter set of rules akin to pure matches in ROH. No outside interference and a time limit of 20 minutes per match. While unfortunately this wasn't his tournament to win, Daniel Garcia became a beloved underdog through these matches, and ended his run with a high when he overcame the monstrous Brody King, Just as the tournament revitalized AEW, Daniel Garcia went on with a renaissance of his own.
Every single time I got down, y'all picked me back up. Every single time I danced, y'all danced with me. And guys, I really can't thank you guys enough for helping me restore that feeling.
Throughout 2024, that's exactly what he did, going on to have amazing feuds against Christian Cage, MJF, and ultimately winning the TNT Championship from Jack Barry. Daniel Garcia definitely got the best of both worlds. Not only did he accept his identity as a pro wrestler in the end, but he also applied the lessons he learned as a sports entertainer under Chris Jericho.
Daddy, go get it, Danny! Is that why you didn't wear a shirt tonight? You were that excited? You knew Danny Garcia was in this? You know me so well, Ian. Well, now Wheeler Yuta looking to play spoiler here on Danny Garcia. Think about the history between these two men. The TNT champion, 1/3 of the AEW Trios champs. The Ring of Honor Pure Championship. Everything that these men have gone through. Climbing the independent ranks. Finding themselves here in AEW. Going at it now with the world title shot on the line.
During the first Casino Gauntlet match of 2025, Wheeler Yuta and Daniel Garcia finally reunited in the ring after almost 2 years apart. And this moment in the Gauntlet is what inspired me to make this video. When Garcia and Yuta signed onto AEW, they were considered the future of the company. And after almost 3 years, I think it's safe to say, by all regards, they lived up to that potential. Daniel Garcia was already a gifted technician wrestler, but under Jericho, he also learned to be an entertainer. He grew confident and comfortable under the spotlight, and while it caused conflict for his identity at first, in the end, Garcia was able to embrace both sides of himself, eclipsing the expectations set before him, and is now a beloved face and champion in AEW. Wheeler Yuta, on the other hand, initially made a very big splash in his career under the BCC. However, when the group imploded and was rebranded as the Death Riders, I think it's safe to say that this is when many can see that Wheeler staying for as long as he did stunted the growth in his career as an individual wrestler. While yes, he was still successful as a trios champion, he never really outgrew the shadows of his mentors. And that's where Garcia and Yuta's story end for now. Thank you all so much for watching. Please continue to stay tuned by liking and subscribing, because there's still plenty of tapes to replay.